Hey y'all, it is Lindsay with the Fiber Seed, and it's WIP Wednesday where I share what I've been working on, which are a couple things. First up, let's talk about yarn. I know, it's WIP Wednesday, but first, yarn. Wonka is our Eternal Tuesday, so if you haven't gotten the email or seen the socials, it's 10% off. It's on the website. Yay! Don't know what my hands are doing. Anyway, what is this week? Also this week, giving you a sneak. This Thursday, we're bringing a Throwback Thursday back, which means it's going to be multicolor. This one is called Shrimpfest. Looks like this. And sock, DK, and worsted. Teals with peach and golden speckles. And then because I finally got the swatches. Most of them like I had made the swatches already. Ha! This one I hadn't. So this one, swatches, knit. This is on DK. Crochet, double, half, and single. And Tunisian crochet. Oh, I lost my swatch. Wait, no, I can. Tunisian crochet. Here it is. How cool is that? I mean, it looks totally different. Absolutely love it. It looks totally different from this. So there's 3 ways you could work this up. And that is going to be in the shop tomorrow for the first time in forever. You thought I was going to start singing. Anyway, what else? July's colorway. July is coming out in a month. Let's not speed that up. Okay. Enjoy the summer while it is here. June's colorway. If you're wondering if this is how many takes I do, none. One. Yeah, one. Here's June's colorway. Without further ado, Shoreline. So sock. So you can see there's aqua and blue tones and speckles and earthy sand tones, and I love it. That's DK and worsted. Okay, so Shoreline, here it is in a cake. Okay, and then here's the swatches. All right, knitting, crochet, double, half double, and single, so you can see kind of, but not really changes. And then, I'm not going to drop it this time, Tunisian crochet. Look at it. Okay, so that is how Shoreline works up. It's going to be on sock, DK, and worsted. So that's going to be Friday at noon. And it's Wednesday, so 2 days from now. Anyway, what did I work on? So I said I was going to start making a headband for Penelope made out of her Peri the Peacock colorway. So I went and got my Pincha pattern by Pinilpan Wangsai, and proceeded to alter it. So I followed the instructions to bring the feather out this far, and then I followed the instructions to about right here. From there, you're supposed to have basically live stitches because you're adding other feathers on as you go, okay? Until you have the shawl size you want. I wasn't doing that, I was just doing one feather. So I didn't want to bind off and just have one straight line, since this does have some shape to it. Okay, so what I did was I basically reverse engineered how many decreases I would make by the amount of stitches that were becoming short rows, if that makes sense. So I did some pretty creative, I'm pretty impressed with what I did, decreases here that were like decreasing 4 stitches, but without a big old bulky knot going on here. I was excited. I don't know exactly how you would write it, I just did it. So this is how it looks though. So basically it'll go like this. Her head's smaller than mine. Maybe it'll go like that. Kind of like a fasten here. I don't know. Anyway, I'll do that. She's gonna love it. And I think I'm gonna put like either make a ribbon tie, or her hair is silky, so I might do like a hair tie so that it has a little bit of, hold to it. But I'm super excited about how that turned out. Anyway, so if you wanted to make the shawl, you could totally do it out of actually both of their colors. Reese's Dragon's Tail, Reese's Mr. Tentacles, Penelope's Peri the Peacock. They'll all do that. All right, so that's how that turned out. Then I worked on Jordan's hat out of Dapper. I have this much left. It's in Sprout DK. And Penelope's little feather was in DK as well. So this is how much I've got on there. So you can see this is the Father's Day colorway. It's got grays and blues and black. So anyway, I am almost done. I think I need to put maybe another inch on there before I put the decreases in, which I'm gonna have to count my stitches because I can't remember how many I cast on, and I'm making this up as I go. So math. If I knew I was going to knit, crochet, weave, design any of all of those when I asked that not silly question, it's a valid question in high school, when am I going to use this stuff? And somebody told me all the things I do now in dyeing yarn. I'd be like, oh, okay, valid point. I'll learn. This is exciting. Practical application. That's important. Just saying. So if anybody asks you, give them practical applications that they're interested in. Or maybe they won't even know they're interested in yet. But what else did I do? I finally bound off. Look at this. There's no yarn attached to it. Bound off Jordan's Southwood sweater. Pattern is by Galt House of Yarn. And I'm using Sprout Worsted on with the Bering Sea color. So that's how it turned out. If you see it looking more blue, it is more aqua than it is blue. But my shirt is not helping me today. Wore the wrong shade. Anyway, if it's more aqua toned, that is how it looks. Look at the website. Jordan spends so much time making sure that it looks on multiple different screens as close as it does to what it is. So anyway, it's a plain stockinette raglan sweater. I'm going to put the sleeves on it. Hopefully there's not too much decreasey, you know, once every 15 row. No, I'm just kidding. That would be nice. Anyway, easy sleeve, because I think that's where everybody always stops. Is like, oh man, the sleeves with the decreases of doing like 5 things at once. Don't want to do that. Whatever, get the sleeves on it, get it done, right? Remember, the mannequin with no face is staring at me in that one room. I have to get it out of there and get this able to be worn on it. I know it's summer break. It doesn't even on that yet, but I need to finish it. It needs sleeves. So I've got that. And let's see what else. Out of shot, I did this silly, ridiculously awesome, but silly thing where I got a new, too many things. Stuffies in Penelope's room, new tower thing. You know, like, remember the balls at the grocery store that would be the bouncy ones and that giant thing with all the bungee cords? I found one that is room size, not room size. Oh, that'd be big. Space size appropriate to put all the stuffies in, which gave me back a like 4-tiered basket system tower. And now I have, and I'm looking at it when you see me keep looking over it, I have my WIPs in there in all of their project bag glory. And now it's very obvious that I have things to work on. So I'm going to try to whittle this tower down, not to empty, because then I would have nothing else to work on, but whittle it down so that all the other WIPs that didn't fit in it can fit in it. We're not going to talk about the 5 other projects I literally planned out while I was at Hoosier Hills, because they're not in the basket yet. They're sitting off to the side waiting to be wound. But those are going to be cool. So anyway, those. Now I need to tell you about what I found at Hoosier Hills. I didn't get to go around to all the buildings, so I kind of was in my building, and I found at Wavelight Creative these cool, okay, you know, I do the tapestry weaving, right? These are kind of like weave and stay looms, so you can string them up and weave them. And I got these, it reminded me of like cathedral windows, and they were so pretty, stained glass, right? So a great thing that Renee of Wavelight Creative said to me was, you can use these like as kind of like a memory art piece of like what you've made. So not knowing what exactly I was going to do, but had an idea of it, I was going to make a kind of like artistic diptych out of a set of 2, which would be either one of these. I had to look at the colors I was going to do. I think this will be the artistic diptych. That's just for fun. They're stuck together. Anyway, these 2, I'm going to basically make them with all the yarns that Penelope and Reese have dyed. So they each get one. And I'll weave a little bit of each of their colorways in there. So that'll be really cool. And then I got this one for, actually, I'm gonna look at my list of my projects I finished. This one or this one. One is gonna be all the baby blankets or hats I've ever made. And then that would leave this one being all the other projects I've ever made out of our yarn for like, not maybe the swatches, but I was gonna say for like my projects. So like any project that's been made for display or whatever, or for somebody in the house or whatever. So I thought that'd be cool. So those are the things I got there. And then I went to a Cross Generations booth, which is next to me, and I got this book. So I'm super excited about that. It's basically the idea of creating paint from the ground. So the idea of pigments and all that, and forging your own paints. And then, of course, I got some, and if you're watching, you didn't see this, I got some pigments for a gift. So there's a bunch of them. They're earth pigments. So I got slate and light yellow ochre, Roman black, and rose earth. I thought that'd be a good, fun thing for pigments for someone that I know. Anyway, can't say who, and that way it's kind of mysterious. Those are the things that I found at the show, and so I have some things to finish, some things to start. I'm looking at the blankets I need to start on my loom, because that was a fun refresher in how much I enjoy weaving with that baby blanket. But I'm going to do some bigger panels to make some, I'm going to call them reading blankets for the kids. But they are the Christmas wreath themed. They're not the Advent box. They were my test, and I did it on worsted because I had some worsted seconds to play with. And so I was like, hey, I can just split them in half and they each get a blanket. So that's what I'm working on with that. So maybe I'll have that started and I can at least share some pictures on the socials or whatever and let you guys see how that's coming out. Or maybe I'll have a panel done and be like, this is how fast the weaving goes. Anyway, so that's what's going on until next week. Let's see what I get myself into. But yeah, until then, happy crafting.